So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back on this nice, well serenaded, quiet Sunday evening. Although it's not very quiet for me, as someone's mowing the lawn outside. But we are back and with a bit of a relaxed way to end the weekend. And we're basically just going to be going over all sorts of things, all the talking points of today's transfer gossip. So it's just not just United, but also other clubs in the country as well as across Europe and the rest of the world. So we've got a few stories to delve into. Not nearly as many stories to go through as the last stream that I did, because that just went on forever and ever and ever and ever, and that just basically just wouldn't stop. Just constant stream of different and new transfer rumors. But we have got some few bits and pieces to talk about here, which is all nice, fine, and dandy. So let's start from the top. And it starts off with Manchester United and how we've had a £30 million bid for Atalanta's 20-year-old Denmark forward Rasmus Højlund, and how it was rejected. So we put money on the table and they said no. Well, at least we're putting money on a table. At least we're making our intentions clear that we want a player, so we put money on the table. That covers first base, which is always nice to see. Always nice to see. And personally, 30 million is probably never going to get him, to be quite frankly honest. It's probably going to be the 40 plus million pound bids, because I know that there is talk of a 40 million pound bid going in as the second bid, considering by the looks of it that Rasmus Højlund has now suddenly become priority number two after Mason Mount. Even though, despite there being a whole stream of reports saying that we're going for the goalkeeper next because David De Gea is leaving at the end of June. Well, so far, no sign of Onana, as it would seem. Don't know what's happened to him. Must have fallen off the face of the planet. Must be a flat earther. Must have reached the edge of the peripheral globe and is now just falling through space and time. But Højlund is still on the planet. He's still on the surface. So that's now become the new priority, as it would seem. But £30 million bid, initial bid, rejected, rubbish, thrown out into the trash. But now we've got a supposed £40 million bid to follow up, which, apparently the asking price is now much, much lower than the considered initial asking price reports, where they told apparently his agent, oh yeah, that club in Manchester that want to buy you, do you know what, we're going to up your asking price here to 100 million. So that story ended up being a load of baloney and bogus. So So a bit hysterical, I think, with the reports in, with the transfer window opening up, and all the stories and speculation swirling around, and people throwing numbers everywhere. And basically, now we're cut through all of the nonsense stories. Supposedly, we're now dealing with a much, much lower asking price, which is much more reasonable. And if Rasmus Højlund is available on the cheaper price points, then absolutely we should be going and doing the business. Get it done. Get it done with your Murto madness. Yes, baby. Give me some of that Murto madness. We've got story number 2 of the day. Inter Milan chief executive Beppe Marotta has confirmed Manchester United's interest in signing the Italian club's Cameroon goalkeeper Andre Onana. And this, obviously, no secret, is something that we've known for a while. It's just really where he stands on the priority list for Manchester United summer agendas. Because, if he's like at the top, then this is just a throwaway report. It's just reminding It's just the recap report. It's called the recap reports, basically. Nothing really changes on that front. It's just all the same information, kind of like the takeover news. It's all just regurgitated, but they'll probably change a few words here and there to make it sound like a unique report and gets everyone excited and changes the share stock prices and everything. Maybe it's just like same thing. Maybe Anana's asking price keeps changing every time we talk about the interest in Anana. Maybe that's what's happening. Wouldn't like it to be the case, but you never know. But yeah, a bit of a throwaway report on that basis. But Al Nasser, here's the next report here. Again, sticking to Manchester United. There's another United report after this, apparently, but sticking to United on the outgoing side of things with David De Gea, who, by the way, is not actually a Manchester United player. So we might as well stop talking about him being associated to United because he's not on the books anymore. But Al Nassr, considering bringing David De Gea to Saudi Arabia after the goalkeeper's Manchester United contract expired. Now, the wages, what sort of wages would he be getting is the big question, because I can imagine that if he's getting big wages, I'm pretty sure he's probably already signed a contract, but he's just waiting to tell United to say, stuff you, if you want me, you can't have me. So swivel on it, and I'm going off to Saudi Arabia to live in a golden palace and have pet tigers. So enjoy your project process with your Murto madness, whilst I enjoy the lavish riches, the spoiled riches of the Middle East. So yeah, basically, that is a situation that United, for some reason, think they have control over. They think, oh, well, everything's all in. Do you know what? I'm going to do it. Manchester United board. It was all in our hands. We had David De Gea. He was our goalkeeper. His contract expired. And it's all in our hands. We've got bigger fish to fry. Oh my God. I think I've butchered that. I think expressions and those lot do the impressions way better on the Don Wobby. But basically, United board pretending at this point that they actually have control over what David De Gea does, but the guy's not contracted to you anymore. So unless you've negotiated in his year extension clause that he's, that you get to decide what you can do with him despite him not working for you anymore. I mean, Jesus, I'd hate to have that sort of a reign of control or signing over my free will to someone else, even though I'd probably not be contracted to that person. That'd be a nightmare scenario for me. But so essentially, Manchester United think, well, you can't go sign for another club until we sort out what we want to do. Well, sorry, but you don't get to decide that. The player does. So, yeah. And so, unlucky. Anyways, fourth story, staying on Manchester United news. To be fair, there's even with the Roma news coming up next is to do with United, but even so. United are also interested in Feyenoord's 25-year-old Dutch keeper Justin Bijlow as backup in case they miss out on Anana. So we are putting up options on Plan Bs, Plan Cs, Plan Ds, Es, Fs, Gs, H, I, J, K, L, and M, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. We got all the plans. We got it all. It's all in our hands. Oh my God. I'm going to absolutely just get my channel cancelled with this, with these terrible imitations. But even so, 25-year-old Dutch keeper Justin Bijlow from Feyenoord. Would I take Bijlow if he's the second choice option? If he's going to be your backup to your new number one, then I would be all for it. But according to the budget books, it don't look like it. It don't look so positive, unfortunately. So we're going to have to stick that one in a blast furnace and watch it burn and go up in flames. I'm afraid it's not going to happen. unless Onana really does just go to hell or the Onana deal, not Onana himself. I mean, Jesus Christ, are probably that's probably quite a few voodoo things that happen out there. They probably literally do wish people burn in hell. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. But if the deal for Onana goes to hell, then I guess Bilo is the next best thing. But then again, as for someone who doesn't watch Dutch football, there ain't anything I can say about him. There is nothing that I can say about Bilo that can enlighten anyone or any knowledge to share on Dutch league goalkeepers. I don't know about any of them. I mean, the closest thing that I know to a Dutch goalkeeper is Andre Onana from his days at Ajax, and that is it. I don't know anybody else. Anybody else. And I'm not going to pretend to know either. So, at least with me, I'm not going to send you down the wrong routes. I'm not going to bait you into anything and mislead you through all things in all levels of sinnery. But moving on down to the next piece of information, that's Roma. Now, this is the touchy subject, the name of whom you shall not say. Mason Greenwood, basically. He's got interest from Roma. Apparently, Jose would like to have the alleged woman beater. Wow. Well, what do we make of this? What do we make of this? So they're offering to take him on loan, which would favour what seems to be Manchester United's long-term goal with Mason Greenwood here, in terms of not selling him by any means. They wanna get Mason Greenwood back into the first team and pretend that all the stuff that happened before just gets brushed under the carpet. Just want to pretend that it never happened. That's elitist corporations. They're very good at this. Dirty laundry. Brush it under the carpet and just make sure that that you haven't got lots of people looking in your direction when you do it, because your reputation might go down the toilet if you do. But that the indirect plan, shall we say, to get Mason Greenwood starting for Manchester United yet again would be to loaning him out, so he's someone else's problem to get him up to fitness again. And then he comes straight back into the United first team, which I do not agree with. That guy should be gone. He should have left. He should have been sacked, removed, sent out into the harsh cold. That's what should have happened. But like I say, greedy, billion-dollar corporations, elitist corporations, they'll keep people that make them money in positions of power, regardless of their wrongdoings. Kind of like the whole WWE and Vince McMahon scandals with the alleged hush-hush money payments and how he still gets to go around and do what he wants with WWE. I suppose the only difference with that is that Vince McMahon technically owns WWE. So, Mason Greenwood's just an employee, but still makes them a lot of money, still makes them a lot of money. Anyways, so Manchester United. Now, this is a little bit of interesting news, that United have rejected a bid from Borussia Dortmund to take winger Jadon Sancho back on loan. So they don't want to sign Jadon Sancho. They want to loan him. Maybe he can be the final piece to finally win the Bundesliga title. Wow. Sorry, Dortmund, but the masters of bottling are doomed to repeat the big bottle. I'll tell you one way, Borussia Dortmund, that you can actually win the Bundesliga title, and that's just sign Jurgen Klopp again. Just re-sign Jurgen Klopp. There's your golden ticket. There's your meal ticket. Get yourself the Bundesliga title that way. Play your heavy metal, hard rock football. High press, the Gegen press, whatever you call it, and all of the passing patterns. Running and fighting and boom, yeah. Yeah, the German way of football, mechanical engineering. But basically, they are trying to plot their way to getting Jadon Sancho back, but they don't want to spend 45 million, even though they technically, in terms of selling the player, but then also now buying him back, they've actually made a huge amount of money off of it. Probably about an extra 30 to 40 million pounds off of it. So, it is what it is, but apparently it was rejected. It was slapped. That door was slammed right in Dortmund's face. So fair enough, to be honest. Fair enough. If they're wanting Sancho to leave the club, they will tell you we don't want to loan him. We want to sell him. So buy our players, please. It's that you might as well do like this sort of guilt trip advertisement campaigns, right? Where you're like, please buy our players. Your donations will save people. Like, you might as well do that and just say, well, look, there are starving people in Manchester, and with your donations to buying the Manchester United players, you can help feed these hungry people. Maybe that's the only way we can actually sell players for asking prices. But I don't know. Maybe the morals are truly dead in football in every which way you look at it. But yeah, we've got to sell these players somehow, some way. And I'll tell you what, if Jadon Sancho is on the market, the intent's there to sell him. So okay, so sell him, sell him. If that's your intent, sell him. Personally, I wouldn't sell him. I think we need to keep him for another season, even if he is useless to a lot of people. To me, we need the options. We just need the options. We need players, and at this point we don't really have players of quality. And Jadon Sancho might be good in once every 3-4 games, but one thing he does do very well is he'll keep the ball when he plays. He keeps the ball well. He doesn't try taking on people left, right, and centre. Although it would be nice for him to do that, doesn't take on players left, right, and centre. What he does do, though, is keep a hold of the ball and play the simple pass. Play the simple pass, and we keep the ball high up the pitch. It's a simplicity from your modern day wingers, but it's if you look at players like a Jack Grealish and a Riyad Mahrez, it's a simplicity that is a necessity. And that's the sole reason why you'd probably look to do something like that with keeping Jadon Sancho. For a lot of people, they say, "Oh, he's a flop. He's a flop because he costs you 70 million." I'm like, I don't care. I don't care how much he costs me. It's like Anthony. Don't care how much he cost us. We've got the player. Ten Hag wanted the player. If you want to banter us, go banter the manager because he's the one who wanted the player. Simple as that. But anyways, moving on, Newcastle's deal to sign 23-year-old Italy midfielder Sandro Tonali from AC Milan is set to go through, but could be delayed until next week from Fabrizio Romano. But yeah, seriously good signing that from Newcastle if they do get a hold of Tonali. Quite a big transfer fee, but based off of what Newcastle are trying to do, where they need to go, with their current position, and basically what they need to do to actually take their squad, their team to the next level, Tonali is a pretty damn good start. Strengthening the spine and the core of your team is a really good place to start. And then you really strengthen all the other bits and pieces dotted around the rest of the pitch. And, Newcastle, they seem to be getting it, they're doing it well. Their build up, they're just gradual stages. It's a bit like the wedding cake, the perfect wedding cake. They're just doing it layer by layer by layer by layer and just making sure that it is absolutely pristine from top to bottom. And Newcastle, they're taking good care of the team. They're taking good care of it. So that's credits to their ownership and their board. They're doing the job the right way. And, solid, again, top 4 candidate for next season. Still think it's way too early to talk about challenging for titles. Probably, I'll tell you what they could do, though, is actually win a trophy on the side. They could win the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. Like, genuinely serious, they could win the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup next season, especially if they've got a player like a Tonali in the team, as well as strengthening in one or two other areas, you know? So Newcastle, watch out for them. They'll be coming fast. Made that sound a bit wrong, actually. Coming fast. I don't want to come fast. I want to come late. I want to come after some time. But in football terms, Newcastle are on the up, and they are not slowing down for nobody. Some European news. Some European news from España. Real Madrid hope to rival Barcelona in the bid to sign Fenerbahce's highly rated attacking midfielder Arda Güler. Arda Güler, someone who I've seen on some compilations from time to time. The Turkish 18-year-old has reported £15 million release clause in his contract, which runs out in 2025. So, again, quite a cheap signing. Probably looking to, sign him as like another Gavi or something. Someone just ridiculously young, getting into the first team foundations early and, putting a foothold in the team. Yeah, maybe Barcelona are trying to do that. And I think Real Madrid will have a much harder time on getting him to be starting in first team games. But in terms of how Real Madrid operate, they're relatively flawless, aside from a few transfers that they've done in the past, which have not worked out. And at the moment are still not working out. But aside from that, definitely something that if you've got clubs like Real Madrid and Barcelona looking at this attacking midfielder on a £15 million release clause, then you could say, well, what about the rest of the interest? Who else could go rival with those two guys, with those two clubs? Maybe a Man United or an Arsenal or like a Tottenham Hotspur. But like a Tottenham Hotspur, that would be an interesting club to go in and compete with someone that is on the cheap like that. Because of course, it's not really it. It's just Tottenham Hotspur. So I think if people are ambitious, you're probably not going to accept Tottenham Hotspur. But it's not like it's a tiny club. It's not a tin pot club. Tottenham, not a tin pot club. Might have a massive. They might have North London's biggest toilet for a stadium, but in some respects, especially with some of the transfers they've done so far, doing a fairly good job. So, got to put some respect on Tottenham's name, guys. Put some respect on them. We can get back to bullying Tottenham when they start kicking footballs and start losing games again in mediocre fashion. But fair plays to Real Madrid and Barcelona if they go in and whoever signs Güler, whoever signs him, fair plays to him. We'll be watching that player's growth with anticipation and with twitchy arse cheeks, as Van Gaal liked to say to his players. West Ham have removed Declan Rice as an option for fans to personalise the replica shirt. Transfer negotiations with Arsenal over £105 million move for the 24-year-old English midfielder draws to a close. Deary me. I mean, I don't know why West Ham fans would want to. Well, as soon as the talk started, I probably would have imagined a lot of West Ham fans would have probably, switched off of Declan Rice shirts, in similar way to Irish people switching off from Declan Rice when he started switching his allegiance to England. Just one of those things. Not really news, if anything. But that's from the Mirror. Some Chelsea news. Chelsea's 20-year-old English midfielder Levi Colwill is expected to play a key role under new manager Maurizio Pochettino, amid interest from Brighton, Liverpool, and Manchester City. Okay. Well, it's what I've said before with the Pochettino the Pochettino model is you build a really respectable top-level team, some fantastic players, and fantastic system and everything, right? But no trophies. You ain't getting no trophies out of it. And I suppose that's probably the concern that they've got. Probably the big concern that they have, is is Maurizio Pochettino the sort of manager that Chelsea want or need, to instill the principles that Chelsea fans are so used to under the Roman Abramovich era. Is he the guy? Is he the man? Personally, nope. I don't think he is. I think he's just a sacking almost waiting to happen, in my honest opinion. But do you know what? It will be interesting though. It will be interesting to see what he does do with the Chelsea squad and how he looks to build it in his image. I will actually be interested in seeing what this Chelsea squad's going to look like in like the next 2 to 3 years. Because I know Maurizio Pochettino has worked on £0 budgets before and has still developed one of Spurs' golden generations in the modern age, despite not winning any gold whatsoever. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. We shall watch with keen eyes. So Fulham are keen on signing United States international midfielder Yunus Musa, 20, from Valencia. Okay, so an American export, currently playing football in Europe, which is interesting. It's very interesting. I'm pretty sure that's Valencia from Spain. Let me just double check there. This is interesting. Yeah, so he does play for the Spanish outfit, Valencia Club de Football. But I don't know anything about the player. But interesting. This has been reported by The Sun, though, so take all them reports with a pinch of salt and then cry even more salty tears when it doesn't happen for them fans. But anyways, former Spain midfielder Juan Mata, 35, has announced he is leaving Turkish side Galatasaray, which obviously to be expected. When you get to that sort of age, you don't really accept contracts or take contracts or even get offered of contracts that are longer than a year to 2 years. So I think it's sort of, Juan Mata's probably now looking at his final club perhaps before calling it a down career. We know that we just recently had Cesc Fabregas call it a day on football, which is unfortunate to see. And, that sort of retirement was sad. I mean, the Zlatan Ibrahimovic retirement, that was sad as well. It's a shame, man. It's a shame from the golden years of European football and some of the talents that you used to watch that got you into football. It's all starting to disappear now. It's either that or it's just me. I'm getting old now. But yeah, really sucks to see that all of these top-notch names are now sort of coming towards the end of their careers. I mean, Ronaldo or Messi, they'll be soon to follow. I know Ronaldo's probably got a couple of years. He's going to go a couple of years left in the tank before he calls it a day. And I don't know about Lionel Messi, probably the same. He's going to just try and hold on as much as possible in the countries where football's a little bit easier to play, a little bit less taxing on the body. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it to summarise that point there. Well, Ajax and Netherlands defender Jurien Timber will complete a move to Arsenal worth £45 million this week. This is from the Daily Mirror. A good signing for Arsenal. Definitely a good signing. I think a lot of people are very, very over the top with this. Completely OTT. some people saying, "Oh, we got a better centre back than United." You know that, when we with that time when we were interested in Martinez, we really made United buy Martinez so that we could go buy Timber. we really fooled them, didn't we? Yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. I'm sure he's going to be so fantastically brilliant for you, whilst Arsenal finish in 8th place for the 3rd time under Mikel Arteta. I'm just joking. They're not going to finish. They're not going to finish 8th place again under Mikel Arteta, but they're chasing down. And never forget this: they are chasing down the Premier League this season after being in control of the league for 93% of a Premier League campaign, to lose by 5 points. I think it was 5 points that they lost the league by. Literally, it was like a 20-point swing. A 20-point swing. Something like that. I think it was 8 points. No, it wasn't. It was like a 15-point swing. Something like that. 12, 15 points. There were 8 points behind Arsenal were Man City, and then they finished the league 5 points ahead. So about 13 point swing, which is crazy. It's mental. A 13-point swing. Crazy stuff. But Jurrien Timber, is he going to improve Arsenal's defence? Personally, I think he will. I reckon you won't see world class from Jurrien Timber, but what I can say that you will see is definitely a guy that can hold his own in specific situations, but there is probably going to be a slight thing of probably a bit of a lack of maturity. I say maturity as though it's going to be childish in defence, but no. In terms of maturity, he's having he's sort of switched on up here for 90 minutes week in, week out. You're not going to see that. You're going to see him get clowned around by some of the attacks in the Prem, because I'll tell you what, Ajax fans only really rated Timber, to the stratosphere when he had a partnership with Martinez, because Martinez got the best out of Jurrien Timber, and Timber covered for where Martinez was perhaps lacking. And we're getting a similar situation with Martinez and Varane, where one complements the other, one covers for the other. And basically, Arsenal fans, you better hope that if it's Saliba he starts with, or Gabriel Magalhaes, your other centre-back, whoever he partners, this is assuming that he plays at centre-back, that whoever he partners in centre-back is going to cover for where he lacks, basically. Because if you don't, then you're going to have some troubles. You're going to have some big troubles, 100%. The fact is that Jurrien Timber does not play 100% week in, week out, like some centre-backs have got to do in the Premier League. He just will not do it. But not to say that I think he's going to flop by any means. I think he'll do. I reckon. If I'm going to say them, I'll be Mr. Glass half full. I'll say you'll do all right. I reckon you'll do okay. Probably end up with like a 7 out of 10 debut season or something. Yeah, probably not as good as Martinez, because Martinez is just a freak of nature. But he's not bad. Not a bad signing, that. Arsenal keen to complete 4 deals in a week. Signings in Timber and Rice, new contracts for defender William Saliba and Reiss Nelson. Saliba, contract renewal. They got to get that done. They've seriously got to get that done. In terms of Reiss Nelson, I don't understand this. I don't understand it. Why do you want Reiss Nelson? The guy scores a last-minute goal against Bournemouth, which eventually led to absolutely nothing, because you didn't win no league title with them. So it led to absolutely nothing, and he wins the last-minute goal award or something. So essentially what they did was to glorify a last-minute goal that meant absolutely nothing. They've decided to give an award for it now. And because he won an award, that means he's an award-winning player. And an award-winning player means, well, he can't be bad. He must be good. Trust me, if it was Wout Weghorst scoring if it's 1-1 versus Newcastle United or Manchester City, for example, Manchester City 1-1 FA Cup final, Wout Weghorst goes and scores a last-minute winning goal by sliding across the grass and just face planting his ball into the back of the net from about that far out, and then awarding him the award for most impactful last-minute goal or something, or best last-minute goal, and then thinking, well, he's won an award. Wout Weghorst is an award-winning player, so just give him a new contract. Sign him on a permanent or something. It's like, please, stop rewarding players for mediocre, or for mediocrity, right? Stop rewarding players for mediocrity. And it is mediocrity because Mandem didn't win anything with that. He didn't win anything. So please stop glorifying a goal that meant absolutely nothing. Germany forward Kai Havertz, 24, has become Arsenal's highest paid player on a 17 million a year after joining from London rivals Chelsea. Whew. Whew. I'll tell you what. Arsenal, they're going to need Kai Havertz to work out. They're going to look like, it's going to look like Pepe. Nicola Pepe, the flop on steroids. It's going to be Nicola Pepe flop on steroids. But Jesus Christ. I mean, maybe Arteta can get a tune out of him. Maybe he doesn't. Personally, I don't rate it. I don't see it. So, but best of luck. Best of luck to him. West Ham are among a number of clubs looking at highly rated winger Dario Osorio. What the hell? So an unknown player from a Chilean club. Do I need to say anything here? Do I need to say anything here? I'm not even going to bother. I'm just not even going to bother. Don't need to say anything about a player I don't know about from a country. I don't really know anything about their football. Apart from Alexis Sanchez and Arturo Vidal and Gary Medel. That's it. That's the only things Chilean that I know about in football. And Claudio Bravo, can't forget him. But still, English midfielder Danny Drinkwater, 33, says he would like to rejoin Leicester City after leaving the club for Chelsea in 2017. Well, Danny Drinkwater, you might get your wish because now they're back in the depths of despair. So you can go back to that level that you hence came from. So go join your fellow comrades on that fox-ridden sinking blue ship. Go back and join them and save your club that bred you success. So whatever happens for Leicester City. I don't know how they'll feel about that. You can let me know if you watch it on playback and you're a Leicester fan. Go let me know in the comments. Go for it. Knock yourself out. Well, it is unlikely that Manchester United will sign Austrian midfielder Marcel Sabitzer, 29, on 30-year-old Netherlands forward Wout Weghorst. So, now this is the thing. So, they're not at the club anymore, right? Deal's ended on Friday. Manchester Evening News, they are saying that it's unlikely. So you're saying there's a chance. There's a chance. We could sign Wout Weghorst and Marcel Sabitzer on loan deals again. So there's a chance. There's a chance. If either of those two genuinely make it into a transfer story, like that's actually got interest in linking them to joining this club again, we're finished. Fold the club. Padlock the doors to Carrington. Padlock it all. Burn the place to the ground. Blow up the stadium. Blow up everything. Nuke Manchester. Just end the entire northern part of England at this point. Just destroy the whole of the Manchester, the whole greater Manchester area. Just destroy it. Because what is the point? Like, seriously, what is the point? They were stopgap fixes where we were lacking last season. They've proven that, cool, it gave us an option, but they're not good enough. But for some reason, our fickle board would literally look at a player that was not successful, that didn't work for us, and say, oh, I know. It's a really bad idea, right? We can all agree it's a really bad idea that we do this, but we're going to do it anyway. What's that song? We're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it anyway. It's a bit like that, isn't it? Seriously, it's like you see bad decisions, but you think, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead with... it's like you're driving a car across a bridge, right? Driving a car across a bridge at about 100 miles an hour. You can see the bridge is not finished. The bridge is not finished. It's still, like, they've got signs up, they've got bollards, they've got barriers, everything, the whole lot. But you're just happy driving. It's like, this is a really bad decision and I'm probably going to die. But you just do it anyway. You do it anyway. And it makes no sense. It is just absolute insanity. I cannot understand why we would even entertain the prospect of Marcel Sabitzer or Wout Weghorst coming back. Why would we do that? Like, oh, bloody hell. Anyways, the last story of the day, and I shall wrap it up after this point. Coventry City want £20 million for striker Victor Gyökeres, 25, with Serie A club Atalanta interested. I mean, Jesus Christ, Coventry City got a striker worth £20 million. Absolute blasphemy. Sign that player immediately. But unfortunately for Coventry City, they are staying down in the Championship. Unlucky. But Atalanta looking to sign their striker for £20 million. I mean, I don't know if £20 million is a crazy expense. Oh, I mean, for Coventry's sake, it probably is actually a huge amount of money, £20 million. So they'll probably cash in on him, I reckon, especially for a Championship club that for some reason it really doesn't feel like that Coventry City have been around in the Championship for long at all. I don't know if they actually have or haven't. I don't know how long they've been in the Championship for. But 20 million for Victor Gyökeres is, a fair fee for a 25-year-old as well from the Championship. It's actually quite good. It's actually quite a good fee, with all things considered, and to be able to draw interest from some of Europe's finer clubs. It's definitely an avenue to explore. And if I was in the boardrooms of Coventry, I'd be strongly considering this offer. So all the more to them. So whatever they choose to go with. But anyways, I'm going to wrap it up, people. If you watch this on playback and you have thoughts and feelings about topics we've discussed, let me know in the comments section below and your thoughts and feelings. Do be sure on the way out to smash a like, and if you haven't already, subscribed. There's no point not being subscribed. You can be subscribed to an unlimited number of channels. There's no limit. It's not like you can subscribe. I'm sure you can subscribe to more channels on YouTube in a day then you can actually read tweets. Yeah, there's something for scales. But anyways, that's it for me for now today, and wish you all a fine Sunday evening, and we'll see you again tomorrow in the new week, and maybe we'll be getting the Mason Mount announcement tomorrow as well. So should be an interesting Monday to say the least. But anyways, thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.